Hi, it is Monday and it is a busy day. I have a couple errands to run. In our local area, we had a highly disturbing incident happen to a young boy, a 9-year-old boy. He was found dead on, I think, the 30th or the 29th in a bathtub. But this young man has 5 sisters who are currently being taken care of by their grandmother, since their aunt, who was caring for them, has been charged with assault of this young boy. He died. There are some really bizarre circumstances around his death. There are rumors that it was the boyfriend and not his aunt who killed him. But there are also rumors that it was the aunt that killed this young boy. But these sisters are going through some trauma, and so in our area there are a couple of people who have gathered together some donations. So the prayer shawl is sending over some lap robes, some hats, and some comfort dolls. And I'm going to take those over to the donation a little later. And then on top of that, somewhere in between this week and everything, need to get the bags finished. I didn't get them finished because of some things that came up, and I'll discuss those things tomorrow. But so it's kind of a weird day, you know. The next stitch on the blanket is the Floret Stitch, and this is it here. And what it does is it gives this little raised effect on it. It is pretty interesting texture. And then the back is pretty flat. Now, this stitch consists of a slip stitch and a double crochet, and that is all you use to produce this stitch. However, today's video you will see that I struggle with getting the double crochet into the slip stitch, so I am going to advise you, and on the blanket I did it a little differently than I did on my practice piece. On my practice piece, I got my slip stitches a little tight. So I would suggest that you very carefully, when you are putting your slip stitch, do not draw them down tight. Do them fairly loosely so that when you do the return pass, you are able to get those stitches worked. And on the scrap blanket, it happened to work out just fine by doing them a little looser so I could get those in there. But yeah, that I'm going to advise you. The stitch tutorial is a little long. You're going to hear a lot of noise in the background. Can't do anything about that. Most of it's husband. But you'll see me struggle, so have a good laugh at it. And it's a long one. It's about 15 minutes long for that stitch tutorial. Doesn't need to be that long, but that's how long it took me. So I'll see you again tomorrow. And for today's giveaway, I am giving away Knit Picks palette, and this is in silver. There are 2 of those in the silver, and also in pink. And there are 2 in the pink. This is 100% Peruvian wool, Highland wool. It is a fingering weight, I believe. Yes, it is a fingering weight. Get 231 yards. Each ball is 50 grams. I called this pink, but it's actually called blush. So you're going to get 4 of those. And You know, if you're into doing some fades, that might be cute that way. Or if you want to use 2 strands together, because I rarely use fingering by itself. I normally do it 2 strands together. Just because it's too much like working with string. Alright guys, I'll see you again tomorrow. Everybody have a blessed day. Let's see, what do you have to do to... Let's do a special word. Alright? And the special word is just gonna be love. That's all you have to do. Put love in the comment down below. And as usual, the usual rules apply. You have to be 18. You have to be able to receive things. I'm not responsible for any taxes, duties that you may incur. And I'm sure I'm going to value this at a very lower price because I can't remember what it was. And I'm sure I got it on sale. So, don't have to worry about a high price on that. It's open worldwide. If you can't receive it, you're unable to. Sorry, you won't be able to send to your country. You have to be a subscriber. Use the word love in your comment. And after I call the winner tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have 48 hours after that time when that video is posted to send me an email with the address you want me to mail it to. I think that's it. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we're ready to start on the next 6 rows, and I have already joined a new color. So the very first stitch we are going to put in a slip stitch. The next stitch we'll put in a double crochet stitch. The next stitch, slip, then a double crochet into the next, then a slip stitch into the next, double crochet into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next, double crochet into the next, slip stitch. Do you see the pattern? And then, because we need to finish off differently, we're going to go into this and do another slip stitch into this last stitch. I think I may have skipped a stitch somewhere. Maybe not. Then you are going to chain 3 is normally what you would do. But here, I am going to do something different. I am going to chain 1. Then I am going to do a single crochet. Then I will work through that first loop, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and that will count as a double crochet. So the next stitch is you are going to skip the first stitch, which is normally your double crochet, but we've double crocheted there. So we are going to double crochet into each stitch across. To pull up some more yarn. Those slip stitches can be kind of hard to get into, but just get into them and put your double crochet in there. Chain 1 and turn. Now it's just a simple repeat of those 2 rows. Slip stitch into the first one, double crochet into the second, slip stitch into the next one, double crochet into the next, slip stitch, double crochet into the next, and get some more yarn. Slip stitch into the next stitch, double crochet into the next, slip stitch into the next, double crochet into the next stitch, slip stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. Oh, Jane. I'm having so much trouble with that stitch. And slip stitch into your last stitch. Now remember, if you want to chain 3, you can chain 3. Otherwise, you can build up your double crochet stitch in place of your chain by doing a single crochet, going into that first loop right there. Maybe if I can get my hook in there. Some days it's tough. Pull up a loop, then pull through 2, and that's your first double crochet. Then you are simply going to double crochet across. And those are the 2 rows that make up the floret stitch. Now, as I said, I'm going to be doing 2 rows on my blanket. 6 rows on my blanket. But you are free to do as many as you want. Pull up some more yarn. And then, as I say, rinse and repeat. The next row will be a chain 1, turn, then a slip stitch. And you know, the other stitch I didn't do left-handed for you. So maybe I should see if I can get this left-handed. I haven't tried this stitch left-handed. Alright, so we're going to do a slip stitch. Oops, that was not a slip stitch, Jane. Slip stitch into the first. You see how much trouble I'm having with that? Sometimes you have to giggle. Slip stitch. Sometimes I find that first one is a little difficult, especially left-handed since that's not my dominant hand. Let's pull that stitch up there. Quit being stubborn. Let's try that again. Slip stitch. Right-handed, it just goes in easy. Okay, double crochet into the next. And I think you can see my tension is way off on this one. Slip stitch into the next. Double crochet into your next stitch. Slip stitch into your next. Double crochet into the next. Slip stitch into the next. Double crochet into the next. Slip stitch into the next. Double crochet into the next. Slip stitch into the next. Double crochet into this next one. And a slip stitch into the last. Chain one and turn. Now this is the row that is double crochet all the way, but I am going to, instead of chaining 3, I am going to do that single crochet. Then go through this loop here. And I'm going to need a little help because I've got it so tight. And I didn't get all of it. Let's start over. Shall we? See, I told you I still need practice with my left hand. Then we are going to go pick up this loop here, go through that loop, pull up a loop, then yarn over and go through the 2. Then we are just going to put double crochets in every stitch across. That slip stitch. And I think what I find funny is the tension, because I'm not used to because I haven't been practicing, honestly, with this left hand. So my tension is really tight in certain places. And honestly, folks, When you are learning any new skill, practice is the key. Don't give up. Keep on practicing. And I'm not going to be able to get that in this one this way. So I'm going to stop there instead of fighting with it on camera. But anyway, that's how you get that that little floret stitch. And it creates a nice little difference in the pattern, the way that you see how it looks. So it's kind of a fun little different pattern to use. And that's it for this one. And I will see you again tomorrow for the next stitch on the list.